Let's come back and take a look at the local dailies. Alright, Taifa Leo, mauti angani na vilevile barabarani. On one side, maafisa wa usalama katika eneo la mkasa wa ajali ya ndege sehemu ya Viungani, kaunti ya Kwale hapo jana. On the other photo, zimebaki ya matatu iliyotumbukia ndani ya mto Kiama katika kijiji cha Kahunyu kule Murang'a, ambapo watu 6 walifariki mnamo Jumamosi. Idadi ya ajali zinaendelea kuongezeka humu nchini. Nasema kwamba wingu jeusi lilitanda hapo jana, watu 12 wakifariki katika ajali ya ndege kaunti ya Kwale, saa chache baada ya wengine 5 kuaga katika ajali ya barabarani kaunti ya Kisii. Our condolences to the family. Kaburi la Raila lageuka mlima wa maua zaidi ya wiki moja baada ya mazishi ya Raila Odinga. Kaburi lake limeendelea kuvutia maelfu ya wageni wanaoendelea kuweka mashada ya maua. Wakataa mkalimani wa Amerika ni raia 6 wa Iran waliokamatwa bahari ya Hindi wakiwa na vileo wakataa mkalimani. Another story there is an international one. Qatar ashinda kura zilizosusiwa. Huyu ni rais wa Cote d'Ivoire Alassane Ouattara. Sasa atahudumu kwa muhula wake wa 4. Oh wow. Kenya tukiongea okay, watasema
huyu ndio ule alimuondoa Laurent Gbagbo.
Yes.
Alafu sasa ndio kwa muhula wa 4. Surely, and we were hoping that anyway.
Mswaki kwa Suluhu, Tanzania ikipiga kura. Tanzania yafanya uchaguzi hii leo, Rais Suluhu akiwa pazuri kushinda. Masuala ya spoti, Arsenal City kupigania Carabao Cup hii leo. Taifa Leo.
Now the interesting thing is that even as in Tanzania they're going out to vote, hoping to learn about the results after they vote, after they cast their ballot. Kenyan papers have already predicted. Hii tushaamua, hii imeenda. So the Daily Nation goes with this one. Samia eyes history as Tanzania votes. President is defending seat she inherited from John Pombe Magufuli, who died in 2021. Now more than 37 million Tanzanians head to the polls today in a contest that President Suluhu Hassan is widely expected to emerge victorious. Wakenya washaamua na tunajua hiyo results. Sisi huwa tunaona mbele. Tuko na evidence kwa karatasi hata kabla ya election.
Sisi tunawashow.
Tunawashow. While the election is historic, Tanzania could formally elect its first female president. It is also clouded by competing narratives, especially regarding the fairness of the campaign, detention of opposition leader Tundu Lissu, and the integrity of the electoral process. This is a main story that these papers focused on this spread, pages 4 and 5, and which has some of the presidential candidates. Remember, there are 17 in total. Yes. Lakini so far tunajua tunani? Tunajua 4. Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan. Yes, lakini there are 17 in total.
But if you're looking at all those other candidates, can they be voted in as president? Ni nini hawana yenye mama?
No, I think ni wakati wa mama, and she'll be the very first female elected female president. We're not saying that if
when
it's a matter of later today.
Lakini
she'll be the first female elected president of East Africa.
When you say ni wakati wa mama, is it because the opposition leader ayuko?
Hiyo pia iko. Kuna hiyo, and Tundu Lissu said even after winning that case, he said he's not leaving jail until after elections.
Oh wow.
In protest. All right. So that's the main story there, what's happening in Tanzania. In Uganda, wamesema this is none of their business. But the other story there, trip to Masai Mara luxury camp ends in tragedy for tourists, and a picture there of security agents at the site of the crash yesterday, where 11 people lost their lives, 10 of them foreign tourists. And it's a very, very unfortunate incident. Elsewhere, the wreaths problem at Raila Odinga's grave. More than a week after the burial on October 19th, visitors are still laying wreaths on Raila's grave, forming a tiny hill of beautiful flowers that cost thousands of shillings and forcing workers to clear them every 2 days.
Wow.
Unajua uko wendi na maua tu hivi hivi. Lazima upigwe picha ndio useme ulikuwa huko. So ile maua unaenda nayo. So after every 2 days, it's waste because now more people are coming and more are expected to continue going there. So they've kept the family quite busy. But then again, I saw people complaining that, you should allow the family to mourn. But that's how people mourn. You don't leave a family that's in mourning alone. You go condole with them. Freed Catholic nun now turns state witness is another story there. Pale juu EACC recovers 2.8 billion shilling Karura land allocated to JJ Kamotho. That was a cabinet minister back in the Moi era, Kano days. Very famous Kano Secretary General. And MPs questioned Ruto's 1.5 trillion shilling infrastructure fund plan. Those are the stories in the dailies. I'm looking huko ndani nione kuna mambo gani ingine. But on the back page, Kipchoge Bekele clash at New York Marathon. Legendary runners are set to renew decades-long rivalry at Big Apple on Sunday. Na muliambia Eliud Kipchoge aritaya akaambia wewe achane na mimi. I am still young. That's the Daily Nation.
All right. The Standard, Samia versus Suluhu.
Sasa hapa ni kama tunawakejeli
Sisi tunawashow.
Si ndo tunawashow by the way. Mtuamini. So many gazeti za Kenya.
No voice. Opposition members have been edged out of Tanzania's vote, turning it into a one-horse race. The democratic ideals Mwalimu Julius Nyerere once championed now seem buried under a tightening grip of autocratic control. As Tanzanians head to the polls today, the air across Arusha, Dar es Salaam and Moshi is thick with an easy calm, a nation voting under the shadow of fear, silence and inevitability. I saw somewhere one of a Tanzanian, akiuliza those people, we talked about they're going door to door sometime back for campaign. And when they went kwake to campaign, he asked them, who am I voting against? Hakuna another candidate here, so why are you here to campaign?
I love those people who are making a lot of noise about the elections in Tanzania are not Tanzanians. They're Kenyans.
I think it's us.
Sisi ndo tuna machungu sana about what's happening in Tanzania. Why? Kama umeshindwa na demokrasia yenu, achana na jirani. Jirani anasema nyi pigeni kelele kwenyu, si tuko sawa. Washaamua.
Tuache kuabuli.
Alafu hapa, it's the only story on the front page. No mention of any other thing.
Hata hawa hawezi kutuweka peke yetu hivyo kwa
sisi ni wachokozi.
On the inside pages of the Standard now, Pioneer Grade 9 test revive fears of KCPE scramble for top schools. And they say the CBE mode of assessment was meant to ease pressure and guide intake. PSP Talk says 2.4 million KJCA candidates to jostle for popular senior schools. Sasa hii kama ulikuwa umezoea kucall somebody who knows someone, like get me a chance at Alliance High School or Kenya High or those top schools, it might not be possible right now.
But then again, according to this story, they're saying that ile trend, because you see there's a lot of private schools and they need to compete. They need to show that this school is better than the other because they're commercialized.
Yeah.
So wanasema ile grading ni kama haitakuwa. Do you think haitakuwa? Kenya tushazoea kugrade mashule. Lazima watakuja, they'll buy spaces in the dailies and say how many exceeded expectation, because that's how they grade their learners, how many met expectation. They'll have to do that so that you know which school is better than the other.
Okay. It's a matter of time. We'll know when that time comes. Strong winds linked to aircraft accident that killed 11 in Kwale. They make mention of that story here as well. Witnesses say the aircraft hit a tree as it tried to return to the airport after takeoff. An operator of the aircraft said 8 Hungarians, 2 Germans, and a Kenyan pilot died. So almost all of them were foreigners, just one Kenyan here. CJ Koome picks 3 judges to hear CDF case. It's another story there. On the back page of the Standard, Messi wants to play in 2026 World Cup. Argentina legend says he will listen to his body before deciding whether he can make that dream come true. Inter Miami forward led Argentina to the 2022 World Cup title.
The issue is his age. He's 38. At 38 unasema unasikiza mwili. Anyway, sikiza mwili.
Huyu hata kitovi Japona. Anasema I would like to be there to be well and be an important part of helping my national team if I am there. That is Lionel Messi.
Samia versus Suluhu. Kejeli kweli. On the Star, they steer clear of matters Tanzania, but yes, a lot of what's happening locally. Ex-governors owe millions in mortgages and loans. One county chief with a tenure of just 5 years borrowed 50 million shillings. Maybe alikuwa nangojea atapata 2-term. Akapata 1-term. That story is on pages 4 and 5. So most of them are stuck. A parliamentary investigation has uncovered what appears to be widespread abuse of car loan and mortgage schemes involving current and former governors and senior county officials. The Senate County Public Investments and Special Funds Committee found many county executives, particularly former governors, have defaulted on their loan repayments. Watu walikuwa governor. In Meru County, all 3 former governors, Peter Munya, Kiraitu Murungu, and Kawera Mwangaza, are among the officers who owe a combined 58.04 million to the Meru County Executive Staff Housing Fund. Hawa watu, by the way, unasikia Governor Mutuma told senators that Kiraitu took a loan of 40 million shillings in December 2022, repayable in 20 years. Kwani ataka angepata 2 terms ingefika 20 years? How, based on what? Interesting. That's the main story there on pages 4 and 5 of this paper. Pale chini, they make mention of that fateful plane crash. Experts probe Kwale plane crash as Kenya mourns. Hey, nilikuwa nimesema at least leo tumepunguza mambo ya ODM, lakini bado on the Star wako pale. How ODM bigwigs compromised to steady Raila's 20-year-old party. So on Monday, they met and they were forced to abandon hardline positions to save the party from disintegration. Walikuwa wanajipiga vifua sana before that. Kutenda hivi kama utaki toka. Wakaambiwa iendangi hivyo. Hii party itasambaratika tu saa hii. Hata kabla wiki mbili hazijaisha. It's an uphill battle for IEBC stringent rules for MCA's recall. So the IEBC has formally established a clear administrative pathway for voters seeking to recall their MCAs before the end of their term. The detailed procedures outlined in a comprehensive guide seen by this paper empower registered voters in a word to initiate a recall process, a matter that gained traction at the height of the 2024 Gen Z uprising. But they're not talking about MCAs, they wanted MPs. So IEBC has come up with a proper procedure on how to recall an MCA. Let them do the same for MPs, because hapo ndio watu walisema. Pale juu, story about dispossession of a widow, kule Nyando. Finally, she got justice. She had rejected wife inheritance. And the Iranians who were caught trafficking drugs have been detained for 30 days as the case continues. Back page stating the ship matters AFC Leopards. No, Shabana preparing to meet AFC Leopards. Watakulwa na Ingwe. Anyway, that's the Star.
All right. Kisonga mbele, people really lost voice. Parliament or puppet inside State House grip on power. They talk about how State House took over Parliament. Laws that are passed, Parliament are controlled by the State House. So they're asking, is Parliament independent or is it a puppet State House?
Yes. Yesterday it was interesting, one of my panelists raised, and it's a lawyer, alisema, unaona hiyo watu wanakimbia kotini kusema ati cabinet secretaries are taking part in politics. That it's the same Parliament that actually passed the conflict of interest bill, now an act,
yes,
which actually allows CSs and CECs in counties to campaign. The same Parliament. But one of those people who have gone to court is a member of Parliament.
To do what? To petition?
To challenge, it's LSK and Babu Owino, who's an MP, are going to challenge the fact that some cabinet secretaries are on the campaign trail. So alikuwa wapi wakipitisha hiyo kitu?
Sasa hata angesema no ako peke yake. All right, Raila's death throws ODM into chaos and shifting politics. ODM kama to the Star, still on the front page of the dailies. That's the People Daily, People and Politics.
All right, Business Daily. Kenya ships 8 billion shilling gold to Dubai amid smuggling link. Do we have this much gold? That's the issue. If it was Tanzania, I know they have gold. In Kenya, we don't have this kind of gold, but we are shipping. So tunatoa wapi. So 2-year equivalent of exports recorded in 3 months. Yeah. Nairobi cited as a transit hub for smuggled gold from region. Yes. Hatuna dhahabu kiasi hicho. Wanasema Kenya recorded an unusual spike in the value of gold exports in the 3 months ending June amid reports that the country is emerging as a transit hub for smuggled gold from other African countries. Hiyo ndio ukweli. Tuache kujidanganya ati tuko na dhahabu ya kuexport. 8 billion shillings in 3 months. This would have been our biggest foreign exchange earner. Also, investors unclaimed cash earns Treasury 13 billion shillings. This is the same conversation you were having yesterday about the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFA. The Treasury earned 13.1 billion in 5 years from buying government paper using cash that investors have failed to claim in bank accounts, dividends and mobile money wallets such as M-Pesa. Are they allowed to do that? That they can actually go to the Unclaimed Assets Authority, take that money, and invest it, and actually make money, 13 billion.
They are allowed to do that.
Wow, it's interesting. Na ni pesa yako wewe ndio umelala hapo hujatumia.
Na walisema wewe hawezi kukupatia that interest.
Lakini KRA hataki kujua kama uko na pesa mali, they'll still care for you. On the ticker, LPG sellers to retain clients' personal details for 2 years. Well, anyway, so the customer details for at least 2 years. Ukibuy LPG. Mivida eyes 20 billion shillings from property funds and cooperative bank rivals Equity Fuliza with 100,000 shilling digital overdrafts. All right, interesting. The ticker stories on the ticker on the Business Daily are more interesting than the rest. Matters business. Just a reminder that later on the show.
More interesting than the rest. This one is quite interesting. The Treasury you're earning, because you know UFA is under Treasury.
Yes.
And they're investing it in Treasury bills and Treasury bonds, and then that particular how they, you know, how UFA is standing on ground and on business is because of your money.
No, but if they're investing my money, whether or not I know I have it, shouldn't I be gaining from that investment?
No, the chairperson said you cannot. That is not their mandate.
You see, hapo wametucheza. Kama pesa ni yangu, wakienda wa invest inafaa nipate interest. Anyway. Big discussions on Morning Cafe today. Balancing
screen time and family time. Richard Ziwa Zimbalist will be here alongside Jane Gitau for this particular conversation on parenting.
All right. And our panelists this morning on State of the Nation, Senators Joe Nyoto and Raphael Chimera, and a member of the National Assembly, Titus Lote. Tuangazie kachoraji.